Okay, get ready, guys, for faith that can move mountains, as well as some unexpected surprises in the news or in your text message or phone calls. Probably positive. In the week of Monday, the 27th of May to Sunday, the 2nd of June, we've got a lot going on here with Mercury, Pluto, Neptune, and of course, Uranus, the guy who brings us surprises. It's a relatively quiet week as all things go. We're building up for that big Venus star point next week on Tuesday, June the 4th. Adjust for your time zone. I'll be making a whole video on that coming up next Monday, and also one coming out on the weekend with one of my favorite colleagues, Adam Ellenbus. So stay tuned for that. But this week, we haven't quite hit that Venus in the heart of the sun moment that resets our life for 4 years in the Gemini sky. Rather, we have a precursor dress rehearsal runway energy as this week ahead, the 27th to June the 2nd, we're going to see Mercury in a conjunction to Uranus for the energy of surprise, but also breakthroughs, awakenings, and ahas, as well as this faith that can move mountains kind of energy, as Jupiter is going to form from his early movement ingress into Gemini, a flowing relationship to Pluto, who's currently in the sign of Aquarius. So we're going to break this down for you individually for your sign. And don't forget, if you want to listen for your sun sign, that's really going to often apply to your soul, to your purpose and career matters, and your father figures. If you want to listen to your moon sign, maybe about your body, your home, and your mother and mother figures, probably your rising sign, you at the steering wheel of your life, is all about you. Try all three, see what you think works best. A lot of people do declare their sun sign is more accurate, so please listen to all three in today's video. Also, I'd like you to know something else. My name is Lori Lothian. I'm using the Western Tropical Zodiac, whole sign houses, and fixed stars and minor asteroids. Today, we're bringing in a couple of asteroids, Hephaestus, the armorer of the gods, but also the forge smith who created the magic girdle of Venus. He's often about the artisan part of our lives where we can forge and create new things. Also, the asteroid Pan, which can be for panic, pandemonium, or pandemic, take your pick, and Icarus, whose wings melted and he flew from the sky, fell from the sky. He got too close to the sun on the waxy wings his inventor father made. Now, I will say one thing. I talked about this Icarus situation in my last video. I believe it was my first Sagittarius full moon video that came out recently. And I said that there would be a leader falling from power, literally because Icarus was squaring that lunation. Little did I expect it to be as literal as what has hit the news cycle as I'm recording this for my Patreon community, early access ad free, on May the 20th. Oh my God, I did not anticipate a helicopter falling from the heavens and killing the president of Iran. So there is sometimes something so literal about the sky. I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, anyone, anytime could fall from the sky, but not a world leader. And specifically, the key was the world leader energy, because it was squaring the sun and the moon, and that's a full moon, and sun is the world leader, etc. But I also can say that it's not just about literal cartoon events in our lives that are so literal. Where Icarus is in the sky right now with Saturn can be a place where we have to realize our limitations, because we do not have wings that will not melt. Sometimes we will melt down, and where Saturn is telling us going through the Pisces sky this week, and he's going to be doing some action in our sky with a conversation with Mercury. Saturn tells us where being realistic, sober-minded, and practical can be much more useful than flying into some highfalutin, unrealistic ambition from which we fall. So we'll talk about that as well, individually and collectively, for the world and for each of ourselves. I use the Western Tropical Zodiac, as I mentioned, but also want to draw your attention to the whole sign house system, which is what I use. It's what all astrologers here on YouTube have to pretend we're using in order to give you general bell curve astrology delineations. Now, when I say bell curve, what I mean is a bell curve. It's like this. And the outliers are over here, and the general population will fall into the middle. So when you listen to this kind of content on YouTube from me or other astrologers, do not expect it to be accurate as if this was a personal reading. In general, many people of each sign will experience themes we're about to discuss. And if you are new to my channel, hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. If you want to know how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, click the link below in my freebies under my video here. I have a free Meanings of the 12 Houses PDF, a free how to cast your chart in whole sign houses using free online software that also allows you to find your ascendant. So let's get started and talk about the week in general. I always start off every single video with a small amount of general astrology about politics, the economics, things going on in the world. I'll spend maybe about 10 minutes max, I hope, today less even, on that kind of topic. But if that's not your cup of tea, feel free to jump ahead. And by clicking the title of the video, the chapters it's called, you'll see where you can jump to your signs. Or I pin the all the signs to the top of my comments. However, caveat, if you're watching just after I've run a premiere of this content, you will not be able to get the time synced for at least an hour after the premiere ends. So keep that in mind. Okay. So let's get talking. So at the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday into Wednesday, we're feeling the tailwinds, the ending of Jupiter sextiling Neptune. Jupiter has been flowing to Neptune behind us, okay, last week as well. Jupiter is moving very slowly, and flowing to Neptune is a long arc story. Jupiter was at the tail end of the sign of Taurus, and Neptune is at the very end of Pisces. The distance between 29 Pisces and 29 Taurus is 60 degrees. That's called a sextile. It's the nature of Venus. It brings soft, gentle, and good things. Now, sometimes I just like to say, go back and listen to last week's video, because that's the waning, ending energy of what you were feeling in the sky last week, but it still trickles in Monday and Tuesday. So you might want to go back and see how it did play out in my weekly playlist video here on my channel. But it's still in the sky for you Monday and Tuesday, maybe a bit into Wednesday. Also, though, on Monday, which was not happening last week, is that we have Mercury sextiling Monday and Tuesday. You're going to feel it. Mercury, the information guide, the news, the messenger, flowing, in a sextile, easy, like the nature of Venus, comfortable, flowing energy, to Saturn. Saturn in the sign of Pisces, the water place where the Neptune sea god is also hanging out. Now, this is at 18 degrees, and the flow energy between Taurus and between the place of Pisces is, interestingly, earth and water. So what happens when you put earth and water together? We get things like mud or pottery or kilns, or what can you do? Clay, right? Earth and water. So think about the energy of those two elements together. Where can you put something together in a positive way that can be like we would be working with clay? Let's use an analogy. And Mercury is about the ideas and the mind, or sometimes the news and information you need. And Saturn is about the form and the structure. Where Mercury is traveling at 18 degrees, forming the sextile to behind him, Saturn in Pisces, you might expect on that time frame, the day of, something happening. Maybe on Monday and Tuesday, when this is pretty tightly happening, a phone call, an email, a message, Mercury connected to structures and forms in your life in the Pisces part of your sky. I'll briefly address that for each sign. If you think about the 18 degrees being activated for both Pisces and Taurus. Okay, if you're a Taurus sun, moon, or rising, with your sun, moon, or rising near 18 degrees, or a Pisces sun, moon, and rising with either of these, all three of these placements, either one at 18 degrees, of course, you're going to feel this very personally, very acutely in some fundamental way. And the same thing goes for Virgos with any placement, sun, moon, or rising at 18 degrees, okay? Because that is where Saturn is right opposite your sun, moon, or rising. Or how about somebody with sun, moon, or rising opposite Mercury in Scorpio, 18 degrees? You get a little bit of grit to wake you up to what the heck this is for, the oppositional energies to the placements of both Saturn and Mercury. Now, moving forward, woohoo, let's get going. The faith that can move mountains. Yay, the good part of the story. I love this one. Jupiter trining Pluto. Well, this is starting out on the 30th, which is a Jupiter's Day, Thursday, Thor's Day, Jupiter's Day. Actually, this runs through until June the 6th. This is a long story. Jupiter is moving slowly. Jupiter is at 1 degree, 0 degrees, 1 degrees, and of course Pluto is at 1 degree. So it takes between the 30th, which is a Thursday this week, to June the 6th next week to fully flesh itself out. But the beginning of that archetypal faith can move mountains energy is in play. Now, you know, Pluto is at about 1 degrees in 55 minutes moving backwards, but he's hovering around fixed star Altair, Eye of the Eagle. It's a military star, and it has to do with military conquest. And victory and winning and strategy, just so you know, for the world. We'll talk about that in a minute. What I like about the Jupiter-Pluto flow, though, is there is a sense of idealism, the will to believe, and the faith that can move mountains. Good old Renn Butler's archetypal universe. It can be active philanthropy, for example, wealth, Pluto, Jupiter, philanthropy, goodness, and the benefic energy of Jupiter, the wisdom, the enlightened energy of the good guru, the philosopher king. That's a great way of putting it. The power of truth. Jupiter, truth. Pluto, power. Okay. Now, Adler, who is a psychologist, said, from below to above never ceases, the great upward urge, about this energy, the great upward urge. And Renn Butler writes, this can be a conscious facing of power issues, destruction of any illusions about selfish personal gain, and the recognition that power either benefits all of us or none of us, all of us or none of us. And the transition from decay to fertilizer, beneficial destruction, heavy experiences with a positive outcome. Jupiter brings the silver lining to the death, destruction, chaos, and transformation of Pluto. Now, as I'm recording this on May the 20th, coming off of the weekend, we just had the North Node Mars conjunction, which is still kind of active until the 22nd of the month. So I'm recording this well before you get it. And some of you might know that at the time I'm recording this, the ICC made a arrest warrants for several people in the world. I'm not going to name them. The algorithm doesn't like that content. But I will say that this time frame with Pluto in a trine to Jupiter that you're going to be hearing about now, but this is going to be aired on Monday the 27th, is about justice and order and goodness and courts. Jupiter. Power, Pluto. Power bringing order, justice, and goodness. Even legal and court-like matters can be Jupiterian. And we have to think about where this is going in the world, as there are now, impunity is ending for active parties in the world in war situations where there has been a huge amount of distress by most people about what's going on, which seems to be out of proportion and asymmetrical and more. So you use your own judgment about what this is for you when you look at world events, but there's something good trying to happen from the chaos of our time. And I do think the Jupiter trine Pluto is going to be very powerful. And the reason it's going to be powerful on Thursday, Jupiter's Day, the 30th through to June the 6th, is because we have not had Jupiter trining Pluto in Aquarius for 248 years. We had to get this Jupiter Aquarian story going. So we haven't seen Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. It's a first in a lifetime, Jupiter trine Pluto. It is amazing for us to feel this energy. Well, maybe it is first in a lifetime. So ask yourself how you want to use this energy, where this is some new kind of faith that can move mountains in your Gemini sky and in your Aquarian sky. Jupiter will do the same trine energy from Gemini to Pluto 12 years from now. So this is not a thing that happens that often. Jupiter will be moving through Gemini in a whole sign trine to Pluto most of the year, all the way through until next year on June the 9th, when he leaves into the sign of his exaltation, Cancer. Yeah, you Cancers, that's coming up next year. But most of the year, in a whole sign trine to Pluto, minus September, October, November, when Pluto dips back into the end degrees of Capricorn to finish up the Capricornian troubles that have been in place since 2008. Think banking industries, economies, think about toxic dark substances of the dark fathers coming to light. But in the meantime, most of the year, we experience a flowing energy between Pluto and Jupiter, whole sign flow, right? They're in India, it counts, right? You just take the house. Jupiter is flowing to Pluto in a air trine. Gemini is air. Pluto is Aquarian air, and they're flowing to each other. Aquarius is the collective, the societal structures, people, cultural things, inventions as well, and scientific, things like AI. And then Jupiter is the order and justice, and Gemini, ideas, communications, but also the twins, the brothers, the neighbors, etc. in the Greek mythology of the immortal and mortal twin, Castor and Pollux, born of two different fathers, right? So there's a lot to be said about when warring parties in neighboring countries go into catastrophic calamities. All right. So now let's also, and that, Russia, Ukraine, and the Middle East as well. Okay, so we're going to talk about how that might impact you. I'm going to call this the faith that can move mountains, first in a lifetime faith that can move mountains week ahead. I'm always looking for something positive to tell you guys on a Monday. Sometimes I get gnarly comments like, I didn't get lucky. This astrology is wrong. Oh gosh. No, everyone's not going to get lucky. Some people are going to get lucky, like last week's double your luck Jupiter Venus thing that's happening on Wednesday, Thursday of last week. I hope I get lucky, but it's general bell curve astrology. You have a unique natal chart. Your Venus might be debilitated. Your Jupiter might be debilitated. The way Venus and Jupiter in your natal sky reflect upon, witness, and give testimony to what happens in our real-time sky influences how it plays out. Your perfection age Lord, your solar return age, solar return chart Lord, your natal ascendant, and the Lord of your ascendant play a part in your personal astrology. So it's just like a general reading, guys, but it can be accurate and can give you guidance to time your best life. Speaking of which, come join my Sky Reader class this September. Be your own astrologer, time your best life. I'm teaching you how to read your own natal chart, not to become a professional astrologer. For that, go to my dear colleague, Adam Ellenbus, to study with him for a whole year. In the meantime, I just like to give you the basic tools to start to read your chart, friends and family, and that course starts in September and it's 6 weeks long. And my wait list gets you discount codes and early access and get you into the class because the waiting list is quite long. So you want to be right on that. And I'll be putting out the enrollment card in August. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's a lot. I'm going to show you the sky. One more thing I want to say, and then we're going to look at the sky together and go through all signs. We're going to see that Mercury conjuncts Uranus on as well this week ahead. I believe that's happening on the Thursday timeframe, the 30th. And it's at 24 degrees of the sign of Taurus, where Uranus has been traveling since 2018. Now, this happens on the yearly. So I'm saying whatever Mercury and Uranus are doing together, it's accompanying the beginning of the Jupiter trine Pluto, faith can move mountains, or power to create justice, or justice and power issues, etc. But in a way, what I always think of when I see Mercury and Uranus together, it's like very genius energy, the mad scientist, the aha. But it also reminds me of Neo in the Matrix, because Uranus gives you that lightning bolt of insight that shocks you. And literally, like the Tower and the Tarot, completely turns your world upside down and inside out. Because he's a phone call, email, news, and text message guy today, or a conversation with somebody on the street, it can come through those ways that something surprising, electrifying, or shocking is going to show up Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. That's the orb of time. It's in play, but it's most active on Thursday, the 30th. And adjust for your time zone. Everything I'm talking about is Western Pacific Daily Time, but it's Western North America time. Australians, adjust for your time zone. But in the movie The Matrix, when Lawrence Fishburne plays Morpheus, he talks to Neo before Neo makes up, and he says these following lines: "You felt it your entire life that there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It's the feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I am talking about?" And to me, every time I see Mercury and Uranus together, I think that line. There's something like a splinter in our mind, Mercury, some idea that is like nagging us in the peripheral vision of our mind. Something it's maybe we have like a tip of the tongue in our mental field. And when Uranus comes together with Mercury, we don't have that confusion. It is a lightning bolt of clarity. And because it's in Taurus, the lightning bolt of clarity for individuals is fixed earth. So really, Uranus doesn't like fixed earth, right? Uranus is the sky god. This is earth that's hard packed soil, like a dust bowl. Like there was a dust bowl, by the way, when Uranus was moving through Taurus in the 1930s, as well as a stock market crash. Mercury is news, information. Uranus is shock and awe. Taurus is fixed things, economies, currencies, cryptocurrencies, land, earthquakes. So these things could hit our news cycle in this yearly transit of Mercury over Uranus in the middle of the week. In our own lives, it's more like, yes, what's that splinter in your mind, that thing that's just like nagging you, and you can break through to insight, aha, clarity, innovative, original thinking and ideas on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If you got a problem to solve, and especially around the Taurus part of your sky, this is your aha moment that solves a problem in a non-linear, outside the box, super download intuitive almost way, right? The gods are speaking to you. My ex-husband used to have an expression, my first husband, father of my kids, he who stands in the way of the gods will not pass by. And I kind of think it's like that. Uranus is this big sky god, Uranus, and boom, he wants to shove a lightning bolt of clarity or a tower-like moment at us all Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And can you receive that? Because the mind is the container and the mental field is Mercury. Do you have the bandwidth to hold the lightning, And the Kabbalah, there was a shattering of the vessels as the divine came into this realm, whatever this realm is, and the Sephirah began to shatter, and the whole spiritual path is to repair the shattering of the God's light as it descended into this universe and splintered into multifarious energies. And I would say that each of us is a splinter of that light. So how do we contain the energetics of Uranus as he zaps us Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with some new capacity to understand, see, know, realize, think outside the box, individually and all the world as well. Okay, so we're going to show you the sky, and I'm going to bring you into the play-by-play for your sign. Don't forget, I am always encouraging you gently to hit the like button, subscribe, and try me out. I put 30 videos out per month or more. And you get all signs content all of the time. I do premieres, which means I'm in the live chat with you for almost all of my content. So when you have questions about the content, I'm taking your questions in the chat box live. And I do also run lots of contests and giveaways for people who are on my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter. I just gave away, I'm going to be giving away 12, 24, 36, 48 prizes, including free readings and all kinds of stuff, free courses with me. And that contest was running throughout the month of May. If you catch wind of this video on May the 27th and you join my Cosmic Moonshine newsletter, you might get a last minute contest for latecomers. But join the newsletter. It comes out every Saturday, guys. And I write the content myself, not an AI, not Chat GPT, about my view of the week ahead in a written format. Okay. And you won't find that content here on YouTube. I mean, I can go into other angles I'm not feeling comfortable to do here, if you know what I mean. Oink, oink, nod, nod. Yeah, things that are going to get me deplatformed. So let's go ahead and talk about the sky. And here we have it. Here we have it. This is this week's sky. And we're going to go through the picture of it. And then we're going to start with the Aries and move through to the Pisces people. Does that sound like a plan? I think it does. All right, what we have here, oops, sorry, guys. I need to move us into, first of all, I'd like to have Aries showing for everybody, but that's not really what I was thinking. So let's go back to the 27th. There we go. There's the 27th. I'm just going to annotate. It is set for Capricorn rising. Hopefully it doesn't make it too difficult to see everything down here. Let's move into Aries and just make it simpler than simple. We'll start off where we're going to spend our time in the beginning, right? Oh. All right, I'm already on the 28th, but think Monday the 27th. To get Aries queued up, it pushed me forward. Maybe I'll go back a day. I know, guys, I know. I'm on the 27th and I'm Aries. Okay, so on Monday the 27th, you're going to see that Mercury will sextile Saturn. Mercury is the ideator at 18 degrees, and Saturn is the guy that gives constructive boundaries and hard-ass realism and practicality to reality. He is the guy who guards the borderland between the matrix and what is real. And here he sits on 18 Pisces. Here sits Mercury at 17 going into 18 degrees. So on Monday and Tuesday, the 27th and 28th, these two come together and you'll feel it through to Wednesday. It's a really good time for all of us collectively and individually to focus on something to do with making our ideas tangible and real, especially if we have been overextending ourselves and our wings are melting and we feel like we're falling into the ocean of Pisces. Where have you been? Extending, and maybe melting. Hopefully not too bad, but melting, it could be happening here. And you might also notice that we have the sun moving into Gemini, coming into a square relationship to the melting wings. And the sun represents world leaders and figures of great fame or popularity. It was a lunation over here, a Sagittarius full moon that squared Icarus, and I talked at length in my first Sagittarius video about a leader falling from the sky. and literally a helicopter crashed with the president of Iran. So the kind of thing is that I did say that as a prediction, and it is out there, but I have to hold back on that kind of content. I think in the future, I got an algorithmic punishment on that video that was really, really rough because I talked too much about situations of WAR. Alrighty, next. All right, next. We see, though, that this is a flowing relationship between Mercury and Saturn. So easy ways to have new ideas or have new messages or information coming to you that allows for you to be able to create more solid structures in your life. And I'll do that for your sign in a minute. There we talked about earlier, I said, look for the faith that can move mountains. That's Pluto, Jupiter energy coming up a little further down the pipeline. And that we'll feel that really playing out on the 30th, which in my time zone is a Thursday, adjust for your time zone, which is, of course, Jupiter's day. Jupiter will be at 1 degrees of Gemini, Pluto at 1 degrees of Aquarius retrograde. I'm not all caught up too much in the retrograde like some people are. It just means Pluto is heading back to Capricorn, to the stuff that he was dealing with back from 2008 to 2000 now, because it's been ingressing here, tiptoeing into Aquarius. So old issues, September, October, November, and Capricorn are coming back. Pluto retrograde is a transpersonal, evolutionary, Titanic, of course, that isn't really all that personal, but it does give you that faith to move mountains energy. Thank you, Renn Butler, for that one. And I love that. Where in our lives do we need the faith to move mountains? Can we rely on transpersonal willpower, Pluto, to do the just, good, benefic, prosperous thing in all of our lives? And Jupiter in our sign of Gemini here gives us clues to how that could play out. That's Jupiter and that's Pluto. Jupiter is hanging out here with the asteroid. Pluto is hanging out with the asteroid America. Yes, things to do with America, and the star Altair war is in the story for whatever reason. I want to mention as well that with this energy of Venus getting ready to join the sun in a Cazimi that will be exact at 14 degrees on June the 4th. I think it's 14 degrees and 24 minutes. I had it written down, 27 minutes. I wrote it down, 27 minutes. That's coming up on June the 4th, but we're feeling a little bit, right? We're feeling how close Venus is to the sun. She's not in her chariot. She's in the sign of Gemini. She is combust. This is indicating that her ability to bring goodness, harmony, love, and peace, especially to the warring brothers of Gemini, cannot be very effective. I actually don't think this is going to be all that great in terms of peace treaties and ceasefires between now. Well, I'm recording this on May the 20th or something. But I think she's going to come into the heart of the sun on June the 4th, and then she's going to leave the heart of the sun, and not until July, sometime, I think it's around the 6th, 7th, 8th, is she going to be a visible planet. So the month after she leaves the heart of the sun, she's still not a visible Venus. She's under the beams, and she's combust, and then under the beams as she is now going into it out of her chariot. Venus was better off when she was with the sun, close to the sun in Taurus, but now that she's moved here into Gemini, it's not her happy place to be, all burned up by the sun, invisible to our eyes, naked eye, and no protection here, right? And even Mercury can't say much about it because he's in the sign next to her, which is called the aversion. So there's only thing that saves the day, maybe, is that's a mutual reception, meaning that Mercury is in Venus's sign and Venus is in Mercury's sign, but it is still a semi-sextile. And I don't remember if that's the symbol for a semi-sextile anymore because I don't use these anymore. I went traditional for modern astrology. That might be the semi-sextile, or the semi-sextile is this one. But the point I want to make about the semi-sextile sextile story is that it could be like an evolutionary astrologer would say, some kind of telepathic hookup between Venus, who's invisible, and Mercury, the negotiator in Taurus. And some surprising backroom deals and negotiations around peace may be underway. Who the heck knows? And then I want to also mention that Mercury and Uranus will be co-joining at 24 degrees as time goes on. That's getting to be building up on May the 30th. And we're going to feel it really tightly on Friday at 24 degrees. And so that's another story we need to pay attention to. When that happens, what does it mean? Let's get rid of all my messy junk on the annotations, and I'll just show it to you, and then we'll do all signs. I promise. Let's take off that annotations, clear my drawings. All right. So here's Mercury at 22, and he's going to bump right smack dab right into, there we go. So on May the 31st, which happens in my time zone to be a Friday, you're going to see Mercury and Uranus at 24 degrees. You might want to go with the good old Sabian symbol for how you have a splinter in your mind, says Morpheus, and you want to know the answer to what's going on here. And the degree of 25 Taurus is Sabian symbol is a large, well-kept public park, and common words are common ground, cooperative effort, shared resources, group project, division of labor. I think common ground and cooperative effort are auspicious for this conjunction that will occur on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or the 30th to the 1st, but you'll feel it most intensely on Friday. Where can we find a common ground together in this fixed earth place where we've been having a lot of difficulty in the world? For example, Vladimir Putin's Taurus house, where common ground can happen, and where wings have melted, is the house of his open enemies. Well, that would be, in his view, Zelensky, Ukraine, United States, etc. So where could something look better than it has, right? For example. And who else do I want? And I'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We don't want to go too deep into this story. Okay, so then let's go ahead and do your sign. We're going to start with Aries, then we're going to trundle along. We're going to talk about faith that moves mountains Thursday with a little bit of eureka, aha, kind of mad scientist genius moments also. So we're talking in essence then about Thursday the 30th, most specifically through to Saturday the 1st, when these energies are playing out for each sign. And I'll give you the lay of the land. That's the most important part of the week ahead, in my very humble opinion. Oh gosh, really, Lori? Okay. Can I get this to actually cue? Thursday the 30th. Okay. And we're going to move it to the hours. And we're going to go to Aries. And we're going to start. Well, yes, you can't believe it, but she needs a chocolate break. She hit the moment where the chocolate is calling her. I will be right back. Some people ask me what kind of chocolate I eat. I'll bring it back to show you. I'll be right back. Oh, it's not even Libra hour and I'm in the chocolate hour. Okay, guys, I love this brand. No, I'm not. No, I'm not an affiliate. It's called Who? Get Back to Human. Salty, organic, 70% cacao dark chocolate. No refined sugar, no cane sugar, no sugar alcohols, no less than soy. And this one's just a dark salty, which is great, but there's another one that has a hazelnut filling to die for. Okay. It's like the hazelnut filling one. Excuse me. It tastes like you're eating a Nutella. Okay. I'm back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I didn't want to eat in front of you and get trolled. So here we go. Back to the story, and we're starting with everybody whose favorite is Aries. Aries, sun, moon, and rising. Wow, we have a week ahead that is, if faith could only move mountains, well, maybe it can. This is going to be a lovely time for you around Thursday, the 30th, when we see that Jupiter will move into a trine to Pluto, while at the same time, Mercury is getting ready to conjunct Uranus. This is interesting. I'm going to break it down. First thing I want to say is I just gently remind everybody that we are going to experience Monday and Tuesday with that kind of formidable energy of Mercury trying to help Saturn, or Saturn trying to help Mercury make something tangible, real, through a new idea, through an email or a phone call. And just as a general principle for you, Aries, that's Mercury here in their second house of resources, money, savings, earnings, and sometimes what you put in your mouth, and Saturn in your 12th house of things that you're addicted to and cause you to fall away from yourself, but also the house of revenue generated from far off shores. And it could be things to do with revenue generation, far off shores, earnings, resources, people in foreign places coming through in positive ways Monday and Tuesday, as well as an ability to constrain or restrain your, on the 27th, 28th, the way you overdo it with alcohol, vape, cigarettes, or anything that undoes you. But as we move forward to the 30th, through to like Saturday, so Thursday through Saturday. And don't forget, Jupiter will be trining Pluto, as I mentioned earlier, until June the 6th, but we begin to feel it on the 30th, which is Thursday in my time zone. And this is that faith that can move mountains energy. How can the goodness and the divinity of Jupiter line up with the power of Pluto and give you a faith, power of Pluto, a faith to move mountains energetically on fixed star Altair, a very powerful star about winning and playing to win as well. Well, possibly this can look like for us Aries, because I have a sun and moon here, this can possibly look like a very powerful way that you can move a mountain here in your third house. Something new, journeys, travel, writing projects, because, you know, the faster moving planet is Jupiter. He's the one trailblazing. Pluto's backing him up with turbo force. So how can you kind of come to some kind of powerful moment of truth and wisdom and knowledge and a faith to move that mountain in a travel place opportunity, right? Jupiter opportunity, in a writing idea or opportunity, in something to do with a sibling, and something to do with third house matters can be your local and daily environment, or a powerful opportunity to benefit from a learning situation like taking a course or signing up for a course or getting accepted into a course. Third house matters. And your website, your social media platforms are all here too. And this is really powerful for any of us Aries who work in social media, because we got Jupiter in our social media type house all the way through until next June, and we feel this Pluto power from the 11th, giving us a lot more powerful groups, influence of groups, more powerful groups of people following us, more power to influence larger groups of people, that kind of thing. Allies and benefactors and people who wish to help you in life come, like an elder sibling as well, come from the 11th house, and those people are stepping into play for you. Yes, all the way through next year with Jupiter here, but you'll feel the beginning of this on Thursday, the 30th of May through to June the 6th, and this week is the beginning of that feel-good vibe. Do you need to have an insight and download, an aha, a sudden like realization, a brilliant idea around money and savings and resources? Because if you do, the conjunction of Mercury and Uranus here does give you that on the year since 2018. A divine download is on the way, or a bit of email, phone call, or text message news is coming to you that's going to help you strengthen your financial gain in the career space or in your life in general. It can be very positive for reinventing your financial story and creating something new here. And again, Mercury loves his ideas, but as much also he loves those text messages, phone calls, or even just the conversations you hear on the go or the podcast that comes across your desk. Something wants to break through here. Something wants to give you an idea, and the idea can open you up to greater prosperity. Let's keep on keeping on, and let's move into Taurus. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. First, let's start off with the basics, the beginning of the week. You know, Mercury is giving Saturn some support. Mercury says to Saturn from your first house, I got an idea, to Saturn, who says, I can make it real. What ideas can you make real, structural, and also reduce the burnout here? This is like melted wings in the house of superficial friends and large groups of belonging, and melting wings on some of your long-range dreams and goals, and melting out wings with, some meltdown with an elder sibling or meltdown with a friend. That energy's been having, Icarus challenges for a while. But Saturn says, let's make a dream real, Saturn, Neptune, or a goal real, or a form real, and let's do it with the support of Mercury. It's your idea. It's your conversation. It's your initiation of an email, phone call, and text. It certainly can fortify or strengthen a friendship with somebody that has been strained, or an elder sibling relationship that has been strained, and set some new terms for that relationship and some new boundaries about that relationship and what you will or will not tolerate with that elder sibling, that like friendship circle or friendship group, etc. Or a new idea to join a new group, a belonging, a club or something. Monday, Tuesday. On Thursday through Saturday, or the 30th, well, not Saturday. On Thursday, we begin to see through to June the 6th. So June the 3rd to 6th of May, the beginning of that Jupiter trine Pluto, which is a first in a lifetime, right? The faith to move mountains and a first in a lifetime energy. I'll probably be in my graphics. Now, Jupiter in a trine to Pluto in your sky, Taurus, is something along the lines of let's wealth up. Jupiter will be planting golden money eggs in your resources and financial savings and your wallet, basically. Jupiter will put wallet golden eggs here until June of next year. And this is the first time he does this in a conversation with Pluto for 248 years. So if you've been struggling with money issues, It's coming all to work out for you. Trust me, not everyone, general bell curve, but Pluto gives you power, domination, and divine willpower in the top of your sky, your career and reputation space. And wow, Jupiter says, let's expand not only the career, but the resources and the financial gain from that space in your life. And so it's an ideal transit Thursday the 30th through to Saturday to look for a job, apply for a job, etc. But I want to really emphasize that this is through till June the 6th, and secondarily, it's really a long game story that lasts until next June. Mine is a dip out of this energy field, September, October, November. So opening up a door this week to this possibility of your faith in the goodness of your ability to earn money and to rise to great power in some career thing is going to happen, okay? Second of all, Mercury and Uranus are conjunct in the house of you. This can be very much a surprise that you are going to experience very personally, unexpected moment of time, showing up most acutely on Friday, but you'll feel it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, where you're all of a sudden going, OMG, what is this about? Oh, I forgot to tell everybody about Hephaestus in the world. Yeeks, oh well. There's always a reason for everything. I didn't bring in the armor of the gods shooting missiles and weapons out into the world in the all signs intro. Oh, there's always a reason not to tell the world about bad things. Okay, so So my point for you guys is that, you know, this is your own personal surprise. Either you're going to experience an insight, a download, an aha, a real moment of clarity, which is very possible. And it could be about anything, your career, your reputation, your home. It's happening in your house. So get your pineal gland wide open, get ready to really perceive something in a fresh way. You might even have an original idea or a stroke of genius befall you on between Thursday the 30th and Saturday the 1st, with the epicenter on Friday the 31st. All right, good luck with that. I might like to see what happens. Oops. Just for my video guy, I'm going to say something, okay? Just for my video guy, because he likes to capture stuff that I do. Sorry about that. I'll read back to you guys. So what my video guy needs to know about, right, is what I'm just going to say to the camera, and then we'll be back to the all signs delineation. My short video guy, he does my shorts. Oh, okay, hang on. I'm having tech issues lining up my sky in the back end for me to actually look at it while I talk to you guys. All right, so a very fascinating and interesting development is happening around 31st of May as Uranus combines forces and comes into a conjunction with Mercury in Taurus at 24 degrees. Good news about the Sabian symbol. It suggests common ground and cooperation. But we also see the asteroid Hephaestus, the thunderbolts of the gods, Zeus in particular. He forged the weapons, and I look at Hephaestus as the guy who creates the weaponry that runs this world, including wars. I find that this can be an auspicious time with a surprising and unexpected development regarding things that look like war, especially given there is a sextile to Icarus who fell from the sky, world leaders falling from the sky. What was my Sagittarius video on the moon, and resolutions in surprising ways around things to do with weaponry and wars coming through our sky on the 31st of May. And back to the all signs. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hopefully I can remember to flag that for him. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. I'm a Gemini rising, progressed sun, so I can sort of relate. I want to say something. I got really gnarly troll last video, and I'm not really complaining that much about trolls anymore. I've kind of gotten over it all about not using me as an example. I use other people like friends, family, siblings, friends. You know, if I know something going on in somebody's life and I want to compare it to something, I use other people's as examples. The reason is it's a teaching platform here, guys. It's not just like, here's, you know, a bunch of fish. I try to teach you how to fish yourself. So for that person who commented that they're so tired of me using myself as an example, I know myself the best when I get to Aquarius. Take a chill pill or find another channel. By the way, that was the Jupiter-Venus conjunction last week, that video. I've never talked about those times of my life because I've heard all this before. No, you haven't, Chicky Poo. As I've never talked about when Venus and Jupiter conjoined every, you know, roughly 12 years in various parts of my Aquarian sky. So you didn't hear it before. All right. So I just had to say, like, guys, I'm using examples as a teaching tool, not because I'm a narcissist. And I talk about many more people other than myself. Okay. Now, Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. This is an energy the week ahead where Mercury sextiles Saturn. Mercury on Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday is helping you bring something into form with a boundary in your career and reputation space. With Mercury, an idea, a phone call, or an email from 12th house, far away shores and foreign lands, from a dream at night, Mercury in the 12th house, from an insight through a meditation. What he wants to do in your 12th house is flow to Saturn and give Saturn some structure and form through ideas or communications to create a better boundary space and a more realistic dreams come true version of your career and reputation. And you're having some breakthroughs Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday. And I'll be in Portugal. Then on the week of Thursday through June, this Thursday, the 30th of June through June the 9th, we have an ongoing Jupiter trine Pluto energy. Jupiter is of the faith that can move mountains when he gets Pluto on his side. Jupiter is wisdom and goodness, and Jupiter is the word faith and optimism. And if anybody can do it, you can, because you are carrying the archetypal Jupiter costume. You are the Jupiterian being until next June. You get to fuse yourself with larger than life, magnanimous goodness, and faith is part of that. That faith energy flows to Jupiter, to Pluto, this Thursday through June the 9th, and gives you a flavor of what's happening all the way through to next June, right? I mean, June of 2025. So energetically, this can look like faith for real. Pluto in the house of God, temples, spiritual institutions can give you a renewed sense of faith and goodness and hope and optimism in the way the world works or in yourself. There's a bit of a miracle energy when you see Jupiter in the house of you, your mind, your body, your identity, and Pluto here. This is a bit of a walk on water story. And I had a really cool spiritual awakening the other day, and I did a little of my own walk on water, and I was like, oh my God. So this is as a progressed sun and Gemini. I'm already feeling this Pluto in the 9th house vibe. You might find that this is also about higher educational settings, universities, or foreign shore and travel powered up opportunities emerging on Thursday, the 30th through to June the 6th. Keep that in mind. It's a longer than this week's story. You also have the time frame of approximately Thursday, the 30th to Saturday, the 1st, with an epicenter on Friday, the 31st. You have a aha of genius, a divine download, a pineal gland blowout. For you guys, it is definitely a dream at night, a meditation, an insight during a walk, the aha, because it's the 12th house and it really is that inner part of your life. It's not the outer. And there's a divine insight download, aha moment totally coming to you. If you are available for it and your receiver line is up Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, get ready for that aha. And it could be quite the breakthrough energy, because if your wings have been melting in the 12th house, self-undoing addictions, bad habits, or other issues to do with the 12th house, melting wings in terms of hidden enemies coming out to get you or something, all of this stuff can resolve in a very beautiful aha moment coming through on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Cancer, sun, moon, and rising energy, guys. We've got this week starting strong. We feel that Mercury wanting to help Saturn solidify a dream come true vision goal regarding our spiritual faith and our institutions of religious settings or academic environments in colleges and campuses, or things to do with publications and book publishing. Saturn up here is great for any Cancer risings trying to get a traditional publisher. And the energy is like, how are you going to form a boundary or a solid structure that's in alignment with a goal or dream? You may have been feeling you're melting here for a while. Your wings are melting in some overambitious stretch into the 9th house. But now you're going to feel a clarity, a solid ease through the mechanism of Mercury in your 11th. That could be something positive to do with your meaning of life, your dharma, from an elder sibling. That's your 11th house, from a friend or an ally or benefactor, or some communications from a group, a friend or somebody else coming through your sky on the beginning of this week. Then on Thursday, Jupiter will trine Pluto all the way to June the 6th, Thursday the 30th to June the 6th. A first in a lifetime. Faith can move those mountains. And this is an energy that could look like your own very powerful moksha, spiritual liberation. 4, 8, 12, spiritual liberation, awakening, different versions of it. From the 4th, liberate from your family of origin, culture, tribe. 8th, divest of your ego. 12, go all the way to Buddhahood, samadhi, nirvana. Do not pass go. But we do love this energy of spiritual guru Jupiter flowing to Pluto in the ego deconstruction of the 8th. That's the best you can get on the spiritual plane, is a big awakening vibe. On a very practical way, Pluto is in the shared resources with your spouse, taxes, investments in the markets, insurance payouts, credit cards, banks, loans, and mortgages. So Pluto's powering through here can make you wealthy, by the way, in the next 20 years, some of you Cancers. And he's having a convo with Jupiter first in a lifetime in your 12th house. This can indicate financial gain from foreign entities, foreign shores, far off lands, barter, commerce, and trade, and borderless digital revenue, building up ahead of steam, not only in this week from the 30th to June the 9th or 6th, whenever I said earlier, to June the 6th, but also understand that you're playing with this energy all through this year until next summer, until the month of June. And you're getting your first taste of it this week. Mercury, Uranus give you aha, insight, breakthrough ideas, downloads, lightning bolts are hitting you. What the heck? Why not? But they're coming through your 11th house. So that could be through the mechanism of a conversation, a phone call, an email, or a text with an elder sibling or a friend or a colleague. It benefits you greatly. It flows to you directly. It offers you something beneficent. It does also even invite in some positive things that may occur through this lightning bolt moment that could also involve how you handle your significant other spouse over here, because there's just a gentle flow to that 7th house. So let me know what happens. Let me know how it goes. Let me know what the insight, aha, or unexpected surprising news or information might be coming through your sky around Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with the Mercury conjunct Uranus. Hey, Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. Welcome to the very interesting experience of this week ahead. First in a lifetime, faith can move mountains. First, let's start off with Mercury in a sextile to Saturn on Monday, Tuesday, into Wednesday. It's a simple energy. Mercury wants to help Saturn shore up some boundaries and tangible results that are realistic in your chunky money house. The money you have through inheritances and shared resources with others. You don't earn it directly, and it has to be shared with another, including bank loans and credit cards, including investments. Well, Saturn wants to make a tangible dream come true. You might have felt like your wings are melting in this area of your life. It's not going as smoothly as you'd like, especially if you share those resources with a spouse. And now we're looking at the opportunity for, in the beginning of the week, Mercury in the career and reputation space to deliver some kind of fortification through a new bit of information, negotiation, conversation, or deal that allows for you to shore up some of the long-term monies in your shared resources house. What does that look like? I don't know. You can negotiate a new a severance package, sign-on bonus, you get a conversation about a performance bonus or review, something that's going to really help you with this 8th house money. Oh, some of you could even be fortifying your retirement plans with this kind of conversation here. Now, the big exciting story is on June the 30th through to May the 30th through to June the 6th. May the 30th to June the 6th, Jupiter trines Pluto. First in a lifetime, faith moves mountains. Pluto in the house of marriage, Pluto in the house of business partners, Pluto in the house of audience, marketplace, and legal agreements. Pluto is going to be here for 20 years. This is your first taste of 12 years from now, of Jupiter in a very precise trine to Pluto. It is this week that you get the flavor of the next 20 years. Jupiter says, let's expand, grow, and bountify our influence, our fame, our larger groups of belonging, how we influence others, they influence us. Social movements is very Jupiter here, and you may be dragged into a social movement of some sort. Jupiter up here can also bring you greater gains from your career. And a lot of you Leos over the next 20 years, especially this year and 12 years from now, are going to, this year ahead and 12 years from now, are going to experience some jumps or boosts in your financial income directly related to your career of the 10th house. And you may have your first experience of that boost Thursday the 30th through June the 6th. And that's the flavor of the next year, all the way through until next June, because we have a whole sign flow between Jupiter and Pluto. And Mercury gives you this download, insight, aha, breakthrough idea or communication in your 10th house. Unexpected career and reputation developments in the work and work related place of your chart. Unexpected jolt of what? If you're independently employed, you might get some kind of viral video going out here or something like that just because. Venus is in the house of celebrity and fame, and she's in a mutual reception. So any Leos in the social media world who put out viral content with Uranus is the god of the internet, you see viral celebrity status take off perhaps for some of you. Otherwise, it's some conversation in your workspace. You may have, a unexpected offer for a promotion or raise, or you might find out you suddenly got the interview you didn't think you're going to get, that kind of stuff, why not? So there's that surprising energy that's really playing out, Thursday, Friday and Saturday, as Uranus and Mercury have a convo in your 10th house. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Here we have a sky where Mercury is sextile Saturn, Monday, Tuesday. This is try to make some solid gains and solid plans and solid boundaries with a spouse or a significant long-term relationship partner or business partner, because Saturn is literally that guy that's been making that relationship a little more difficult than usual since last March, or even making your partner feel a little heavy weighted, or they're worried or fearful or fretting about something, or even heavy, like grieving or something. Now, with Saturn here, he's like really about your other person. It's not you. It could be a client. It could be a business partner. It could be a long-term significant relationship partner who's the Saturn person whose wings have been melting, right? My Sylvia, my girlfriend's Virgo rising, her partner's mom just died. My daughter's a Virgo rising, and her partner's just got laid off the job. So you know what I mean, right? So this is a wings melting recently experience for the Virgo risings existing partners. You don't have a partner. It could be a client, an audience member. And Mercury says from the 9th house, let's make a deal. Can we strengthen something here for that person through foreign lands, foreign travels, legal arrangements, visas, passports? I'm looking at Mercury in the 9th house. Can we strengthen and fortify something up here to do maybe with courts, to do maybe with academic environments or book publishing environments? Certainly this could be really good for a book publishing deal for any Virgos looking to get a publishing deal and a legal contract, 7th house. And especially third marriages in general, those are the 9th house area of your chart. Then later in the week, we have the Faith Moves Mountains, first in a lifetime, Jupiter trine Pluto. Jupiter will move through the sign of Gemini this year through to next June, and Pluto is here as well, moving through the sign of Aquarius, not seen in 250 years. Now we get this flowing energy between Jupiter and Pluto. This is important for you because this is the beginning, Virgos, of a career takeoff energy. Career and work, Artha houses, OMG. Now you may feel this happening Thursday the 30th through to June the 6th. But don't worry if nothing big happens. But career, job, career, work energies are on the uprise. Golden opportunities to get something amazing. Your belief in the impossible becomes possible. Miracles are happening in your career, reputation, workspace. Now, you do not have to do anything. This is transpersonal willpower, divine forces moving through, titanic forces of evolution moving through you. However, with Pluto here, there may be a leaving of a workspace job thing, or a completion perhaps too, May 30th to June the 9th. But not to worry, because the longer range narrative is that all year till next June, Pluto and Jupiter are in a whole sign, flow to each other. Only time they're not is September, October, November. So there's a sense that your career is on the uprise, your visible reputation and success is on the uprise, and you get some flavor of that coming up. As I already mentioned, on the 30th of May through to the 6th of June. Now, my daughter's a student, for example, and her reputation is about her grades. Maybe she's going to finish her last course, her last school year. She's done after this, and she'll go out strong. When Mercury and Uranus come together, which they will do on Friday, so you can feel it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This is the 30th to the 1st of the month. You're going to say, oh my God, there's a sudden surprising bit of information news coming through the ninth house. From a pastor, a religious figure, a mentor, guide, psychologist, from a school teacher, a university professor, and that setting. A shocking, surprising aha moment. Maybe a bit of a surprise here or a download about a father figure. Those are, or a trip opportunity suddenly arising to go abroad. These are ninth house matters. So there's a bit of a surprise. It's probably not you having this aha, but rather some surprising developments in the area of your ninth house. You might receive the notice of the surprise through phone calls, texts, and emails, etc., because that's how we get things going. Information and news comes to us that way these days. This is flowing to you in a trine. You like the feeling, okay? You're enjoying the ride. So go for it. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. Goodness gracious, I'm going slow today. This is a story for you that you're going to see. The beginning of the week, Mercury will sextile Saturn. Now, Mercury is about news and information, and he's in the very hidden eighth house. That's often to do with secrets. And of course, Saturn is what you're trying to shore up and stabilize. Now, for you, it could be it can be a work situation. Mercury could be giving you news, information, communications around benefits, dental benefits, sign-on bonuses and stuff, or severance packages to do with work situations with Saturn here. And you've been kind of having trouble. Your wings have melted. You're falling from the sky. You lost your job maybe, or you know things didn't go well in your last performance review. And something good wants to happen here. And that includes wings melting on health challenges as well. And Mercury's helping create something solid in the beginning of the week, Monday and Tuesday, around such matters. As we move through the sky, then we move to the Thursday, the 30th through the 6th of June, and that's going to look like the first in a lifetime faith moves mountains, Jupiter trine Pluto. Jupiter is flowing to Pluto from your ninth house. Pluto is in your fifth house. Okay, let's break it down a little bit. When Pluto moves to the fifth house, this is a powerful evolutionary force of divine will moving through the house of your personal soul energy, the spark of you, the vitality, what enthuses you, inspires you. Where's your muse? Where's your creativity, procreativity? Okay, that's the thing to think about here. And Pluto's trying to transform it, maybe sometimes through chaos, sometimes through conflict, but it is metamorphic transformational energies. And you're going to get this for 20 years, so you better get used to it. And Pluto is flowing in this sky that I just mentioned the dates to Jupiter. This can look like, on a practical note, a profound renewal of your spiritual faith and belief in the divine. An amazing opportunity for a travel or educational opportunity that blows you away, and you want to jump for exciting joy, and the joy that Pluto can bring here from authentic, deep, profound access to the spark of what brings you joy, not pleasure, joy. And the trine energy here, which is flowing, of course, back to you. So you're enjoying the ride, guys. There could be some positive developments with children and or grandchildren, depends on your age, or creative projects or things that you've been working on that require publication, including broadcasting, podcasting, and books, the ninth house, and it goes out into the world in a publication form or published form. And there is something really powerful, good and powerful trying to occur here in the sky, Thursday, the 30th to the 6th of June. But understand, you feel this energy anyway until next June. This is just the precise version of it. It's kind of like the keynote of it. Mercury is going to conjunct Uranus as a surprise, something unexpected, some news, a phone call. Again, it's in that eighth house. We saw Mercury trining Saturn. It's in the same place. I don't need to say it all over again. What is the surprise, the unexpected, positive development, flowing to Saturn, helping stabilize some finances in relationship to pets, health, rentals, or career matters. Coming through your sky on the time frame of Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It's time for a commercial break. Actually, it's a chocolate break. If you want to subscribe to my channel, please do hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the bell for notifications. I'm recording on Monday, May 20th for my Patreon community who gets everything early access ad-free. If early access ad-free content interests you, you will want to try me out for $5 a month because you also get 1 to 3 Zoom meetings with me a month, depending on your tier. You also get my free Synastry, the Key to Purpose, and Chiron, the Key to Purpose and Synastry 101. Are You My Person? Relationship astrology courses for free, just for trying me out. If you don't like it, you don't stay. You just keep going, but you get to keep the courses no matter what. $5 a month. You can unsubscribe anytime. It's the lowest tier. Come check me out on Patreon, and let's get rid of the commercial and get back to business. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising sign. Now, here we have a sky in which you're experiencing the energy of a early in the week, Monday and Tuesday, Mercury sextiling Saturn. Mercury says, conversations, communications, emails, and phone calls from a significant other, business partner, or spouse. It's not about you. They've got the megaphone, microphone in their hand. They're the ones talking about things to do with children, fertility, pregnancy, sex, and romance. Some big convos going on around those storylines for many people who are in relationship. If you're single and not in a significant relationship, this conversation can be about a date or going out on a date or setting up your first date with somebody. Second of all, it could also be about matters of the fifth. Creative projects, entrepreneurial business, clients, customers, and legal matters coming into a conversation Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Thursday, the beginning of a first in a lifetime, faith moves mountains energy is playing out as we see Jupiter in Gemini in your 8th house moving into a flow to Pluto. This can be money or wealth coming from a parent or parental figure, legacy wealth coming from your family of origin, or some positive financial developments coming through your sky that may surprise you, by the way, because of this also ongoing Uranus conjunction to Uranus at the same time, especially Thursday, Friday. Surprising developments around also your partner in your relationship story or business partner, and shared monies and resources. This is good for sudden opportunities to sign legal contracts for buying or selling homes. This is good for getting a bit of an inheritance kind of vibe or some family money coming at you with Pluto in the 4th house. This is going to be all happening, as I said, Thursday the 30th. The Pluto Faith Moves Mountains trine Jupiter, Thursday the 30th, all the way through to June the 6th. But you feel the flavor of that energy, okay, minus the surprise all the way through the year, because there's a whole sign trine, minus September, October, November, to between Jupiter in Gemini, Pluto in Aquarius. Now, one thing I will say is that this surprising little bit on, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of a conjunction here, look for some unexpected surprises if it involves legal matters and the home, or if it involves your significant other and the theme of children. And yes, I am alluding to a possible unexpected pregnancy. So let me know what happens, Scorpios. Now, it's not the most obvious pregnancy signature, I will give it that, but the moon is baking in here during this week ahead, and that does have a fertility side to it. So it can be a fertility story. You or your partner, baby on the way. All right. Or sudden news, the baby's on the way. All right. So next is going to be you, Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising sign. I think I need to stretch. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody, especially if you're listening to the premiere. Thanks to all my regulars. And thank you, especially to some of the real hardcore misbehaving Serge Labelle types. I've always been there and hanging in there with me. Thank you so much. So many of you. Certainly Stephen the Jupiterian as well. So this is, Stephen the Jupiterian is a Sag, so he's getting a personal shout out by me. Hey, so Sagittarius, rising sun, moon, and all of that stuff, rising sun, moon. Jupiter's your guy, right? So it's a big week for you because he's doing some really swell stuff. So I can't wait to get talking about you. At the beginning of the week, Mercury will sextile Saturn Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, trying to make a concrete idea or communications and conversations to concretize something. Concretize, I hate that word. in your home, property, land, and real estate fourth house domicile. Especially with the moon there, it really involves this home. Have your wings been melting in your home? Has your home been melting? Have you been depressed, lonely, and alone, discontent, anxious, or fearful? Saturn in your home, or someone you live with being that way, grumpy, maybe controlling or bossy. These are things that can happen with this energy of Saturn down here. Now, what happens in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is you're going to see that Mercury will flow, okay, to Saturn and talk to him. Now, you could have conversations about rental properties and negotiations of deals around rental properties or pets Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday under this influence, as well as debt and debt situations to do with property and land coming into the conversation. So keep that in mind. And that, or a work from home conversation with your boss that you want to work from home. But then on Thursday, the big faith moves mountains. Faith, hope, and optimism, power, Pluto, and opportunity. Energy kicks in on Thursday, the 30th of May. It goes through till June the 6th, but it is emblematic energetically of what you'll experience until next June, because this energy is always playing out in the backdrop. So what it means is that you're going to find things to do with your marriage partner, your significant other, your business partner, or your audience and clients and marketplace are highly active through till next June with Jupiter here. And the flowing faith moves mountains is to the third house. Now, third house can be your neighbor and neighborhood, and this can be a shift of neighborhood with a significant other. This also can be conversations with siblings and extended family, aunts, uncles, cousins, and neighbors, and legal matters progressing in a faith moves mountain positive way, not only the 30th of this month to June the 6th, but over the next year. This Jupiter transit usually gets people married, engaged, moving in together in a beginning of a relationship. But if you're with somebody in a troubled relationship, that can end under this transit through to next May. But this is a positive moment where the Pluto might be saying, yeah, you and a significant other are talking about changes in the relationship and maybe even distance apart through travel. And that would be a very positive energy if that's something both of you are trying to accomplish. Now, third house matters are your daily life, where, the ocean in which you daily swim, neighborhood stuff, right? Go to the store. There's something going on with that here in relationship to a significant person in your life. Although you could get very wealthy here in general, in the land of social media, with Pluto, the god of wealth, in your third house of the online stuff, flowing to Jupiter, the bounty, in your seventh house. So you could attract a powerful, positive client, a bit of, extension of something into your audience and marketplace in these early parts of this Thursday, the 30th to June the 6th. At the same time this is happening, Mercury, especially Thursday to Saturday, is going to conjunct Uranus on the yearly. He does this since 2018, but this is a very powerful moment where he's also with the wings have been melting energies. Oh, no, wings are melting over here, where he's, never mind, Hephaestus. So where are you having a surprise in the element of your life that's pets, work, debts, and health matters, okay? And something is coming, it may surprise you. I'm not too worried about it with a mutual reception to Venus, but positively thinking about it, Venus could give you a surprise about pets, work, debts, and even health matters from a significant connection to your marriage partner or a significant other. Because rentals belong to the sixth house, there's also rental opportunities all over this one. So look for that. We saw that beginning Monday, Tuesday, and now we see it again as a surprising development around the idea of rentals and property coming through your sky for sure. That could be a thing. On the offside, you want to sell a property. That could look good too, because the moon is here and she owns the mortgage house and she's kind of baked into this beginning of this transit. Go on, good luck with that, Sagittarius. Okay, Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising. First of all, the first thing I want to say, you're having the experience in the beginning of the week of the Mercury sextile Saturn. Saturn in Pisces, not seen, since like 30 years ago, been back there since last year, is swimming through the Piscean Sea in your chart. That is to do with your travel. Cousins, siblings, aunts and uncles could be here, neighbors and neighborhood. But usually it's a travel house, and it certainly can be a skills-based learning educational spot as well. as your social media world. So much going on in that cadent house. It's a busy junk drawer of meaning. Possibly what we could say about this is that as you know, you see Saturn having had some wings melt, been really difficult here for you. Too much travel, too much social media stuff, some difficulties with a younger sibling, maybe. As this has been, or even an older, just siblings in general, as this wings melting vibe has been going on, Mercury's trying to clear some air here in Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday in a flowing connection of conversation from the fifth house. So this can be matters to do with your children, your romantic love partner, and travel, and some kind of soothing and positive conversation coming through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Then Jupiter is, oh, well, we'll get to that. And then Jupiter will trine Pluto, faith moves mountains, and all of that. June the 6th, sorry, May the 30th to June the 6th. Starts this Thursday, Jupiter's day, Jove's day, or his day. And Jupiter is sitting here in your sixth house. Jupiter is like, I'm going to help you for the next year around jobs, work, debts, pets, and rental situations. Okay. That's what he's going to do. Karmic debts and real life debts. Money come to you, money goes out, whatever. So Jupiter coming through your sixth house, he's going to bring you good things until next June. And we begin to see how he uses transpersonal and divine evolutionary willpower forces of Pluto in the money and earnings and resources and savings and wallet space. This is a prosperity that comes from the work house, but maybe just simply the Jupiter lucky blessings to eliminate debts as well. And what's really cool about this, because you'll feel it all the way through the next June as a general vibe, is that Mercury will also this Thursday through Saturday conjunct Uranus in the house of money luck. That can look like a lottery win, a casino gambling moment. But it's also your romance and your children. And there's some surprises coming out of the woodwork regarding your children, but you don't mind it. Mercury rules the house of grandchildren. Maybe a child's pregnant. Maybe you're going to get pregnant yourself. Maybe your partner's pregnant. We don't know. I would say with the moon here, flowing to the 7th and this flowing to here. Yeah. So it depends on your age, but your partner pregnancy, grandchildren announcements, sudden surprising news from a child, from a love and romance partner. Again, I can't discount shock and awe, money, luck. And if you felt your money was running dry or your good fortune was melting or falling apart somehow because of the all-purpose sextile to the melting wings of Icarus, this is going to feel like a turnaround story. Something good can happen in your money, fortunes, and good luck in your money on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Now, this is where I say general bell curve astrology. Of course, every single person who's a Cap is not going to have this. Cap rising is probably more likely than Sun, but who knows? In the comments, let me know. Do you have a stroke of money, good fortune in general, a real lucky break, the house of good fortune, a surprise in a mutual reception to Venus to pay off a debt, to get a new rental agreement for a property, to, I don't know, something like that. Let me know what happens. Okay, guys, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising, I am one of you. What happens is that we got this guy this week. We got, I don't know where that came from. Mercury sextile Saturn. Okay, so Saturn's been shoring up our earnings money house since last year. We'll do so till 2026. Our revenue, our savings, we're conservative with our spending, all of that. We're trying to be serious about it all. And we have a nice little conversation going on from Mercury in our fourth house, which is to do with our home property, real estate, where we live, and things we do in and from the home. And Mercury's having a kind of nice conversation here with Saturn and where we've been melting in our earnings money resources. I've been melting. Okay, I'm working too hard. I'm melting. I hit an algorithmic bump and got penalized by this channel. I won't even talk about it because I mean, I've never had a video do so badly ever. As when I did a video about the Sag moon a while back, and I talked about too much about the words that this channel won't let you talk about. I forgot about that. So to do with world events. So bottom line is that like the wings that melt in the earnings house and the resources has been a theme here recently for a lot of Aquarians. But here we have Mercury giving us some good conversation and developments, deals, contracts, negotiations, ideas in and from the home about real estate and property as it applies to the energy of things to do with money is playing out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We move on to Thursday, and Jupiter will begin to trine Pluto until June the 6th. So from the 30th to June the 6th, Jupiter-Pluto trine, first in a lifetime. Faith can move mountains. And we have to remember that Pluto will be moving through our sign, Aquarius, until 2044. It depends on the degree of your ascendant, but we're all feeling it, whether we're here in the early degrees yet or not. It's Plutonian power. It's asking us to allow divine will to move through our personal will, but even more so to recognize there is no difference. There is no separation between my will and thy will. It is one will. And that is the truth. It's hard to recognize that, but it is true. So as we become more deeply and profoundly moved and shaken by Pluto's transformational metamorphic process over the next 20 years, this energy happens to allow us in the 30th Thursday through to the 6th of June to really fire up on all cylinders about what brings us pleasure, joy, creativity, procreativity, inspiration, enthusiasm, what brings us in touch with our true spark of our soul, fifth house, and the joy of that. Now, Jupiter is a god of luck and money and bounty and children, and Venus is there. A couple of thoughts. Young Aquarians listening who are in the fertile ages, whether you're the male or the female, this is a very strong pregnancy vibe. Second of all, and this is a money luck house. It's called the House of Good Fortune. It involves speculation, like gaming, casinos, lotteries. And Venus, the goddess of money, is here, getting ready to star point, and we have Jupiter moving here. So there's some energy, some positive, lucky money surprises to bring personal wealth, Pluto. For some of you, the 30th of May through to June the 6th, but it is a flavor of how that life is going for you all the way through, first in a lifetime, till next summer, until June, because we have an ongoing Pluto whole sign flow to Jupiter. It's something that you're experiencing over the course of a longer time frame. And we'll experience again in 12 years. But if you feel like you've lost the innocence, fun, and play, luster, joy, and the spark of your little kid with wonder and awe, this is powering that wonder and awe right back up. I'll be walking the Camino from the 30th to June the 4th, so I'll have this experience while I'm on a pilgrimage. Yeah, can't make it up because Venus rules the 9th house of pilgrimages, and here she is with Jupiter in my inspiration, fun, joy, play, pleasure sky. Now, I used me as an example. Darn, that's an educational story. I don't know. Sometimes people bug me. Then we also want to mention that we have this Mercury surprise. Mercury co-joins with Uranus in the house of home. Now, it can be surprising of development in your home. It can be a surprising development about your home. The moon is flowing from the second house to the rental house. A surprising development about a rental opportunity, a surprising development about a real estate opportunity. Mercury rules mortgages, property, land, real estate, rentals, energy. Could have a little jolt of a surprise. Information can come through phone calls and emails about this opportunity on the 30th of the month, starting Thursday through to Saturday the 1st. All right, so you guys are Pisces, sun, moon, and rising, and you are experiencing this energy to start the week of Saturn, who wants to make you realistic, serious, and sober-minded, wants to give you practical and stern and perseverant and sage-like wisdom. And you have carried that energy since last February, March, and you will carry that energy of Saturn through until February of 2026. Okay, so this with you for a while. Now, what happens this week is in all your hardcore realism and sagacity, you get a conversation with Mercury from a sibling, cousin, aunt, uncle, email, phone call, from somebody in your online world, from a neighbor, from somebody you're traveling with, and it's going to really be powerful and positive. That's happening early on in the story. That is, again, Monday, Tuesday, latest Wednesday. If you're in social media land, something positive can be suddenly coming through your social media land. And always look, of course, with Mercury in our modern day for emails, phone calls, and text messages related to something news, okay, that you want to take possession of and make something solid and realistic about it. But then, first in a lifetime, Faith Moves Mountains, energetic is happening on Thursday the 30th, and you're going to feel it till June the 6th, and that's Pluto trining Jupiter trining Pluto. Jupiter is moving through for the first time in your life in a trine to Pluto. Jupiter is moving through your 4th house of home, property, land, and real estate with Venus, by the way, who rules mortgages and banks. And as that is happening, there's a flow to Pluto in your 12th house. A foreigner from a far off land who's rich wants to buy your house. as an example, some kind of wealth generated from and in your home, from far off foreign shores, lands, and all of that. Some kind of deconstruction and decapitulation from your childhood wounds, ancestral stories that benefit you and you prosper, legacy wealth from a far off distant relative in another land. All of that kind of stuff could show up here. Now, honestly, there's a lot going on when it comes to that fourth house, only in the sense that it has a lot more meanings than just home, property, and real estate. It can really be about your mother, the ancestral roots of your family system, what you do in your privacy. With Jupiter here, like I had this transit last year, I got prosperous from what I did in my home, which is build my YouTube channel and my astrology business up. So you can be bounteous, plentiful, prosperous, and you can birth many little babies of whatever you're creating in and from your home in the next year, right? Until next June, when Jupiter's still here. But with that trine to Pluto, something powerful is trying to happen. If you have self-undoing, self-sabotaging habits, patterns, if you got some kind of, disconnect from your soul and your divine self, this is going to really strengthen all those elements of you in a very profound way over the next year. Okay. So if you have any bad stories about wealth, money, only rich people are never going to heaven. That expression in the Bible. Remind me of the expression, guys. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, for example, or the love of money is the root of all evil. So money is the root of all evil isn't right. It's the love of money is the root of all evil, just so you know. And the camel eye of the needle, the eye of the needle was a portal in the temple, and it was narrow, and it was hard for a camel to pass through that portal. Now, it's harder for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Well, I think it's fascinating that camel has to go through the marketplace. That's what it was, the portal to the marketplace, the eye of the needle. And it's really just the same thing. It's like, is it that the rich man has got all of his time invested in the making of money at the expense of all else? Is that all that means? Because we need our resources. I know a lot of Pisces, for some reason, I know a lot of you guys, you have money issues. Every Pisces I've ever met has a money issue. I've never met a Pisces rising, especially without a money issue, but sun as well. They're afraid, they don't want to spend, they save, they can't keep their money, they blow it out. They are afraid of money. Money is an issue for so many Pisces. Now, I know in the natural zodiac that the Pisces part of the sky, the 12th house, represents, the underprivileged, underserved, indigent, homeless, refugee type thing, jails, isolation, hospitals, asylums. I get that. And I know that it's the higher archetype of the sacrifice, the Messiah, the Savior, and all of that. And I just know that Pisces have money challenges. And I laugh at that because Jupiter's your ruler and he's bounteous as all hell. So I will say this, I never have to write a book about this one. I will just say this, when I figure out the deep code astrology of why this is a Pisces problem, I'll let you know. In the comments, how many of you Pisces disagree with me or agree with me, let me know. But this is a really big healing for any Pisces who've been suffering under money challenges, whether it's about a belief, faith moves mountains, or an actual circumstances that have befallen you, faith moves mountains. This is a prosperity energy in a way. Jupiter here can bring legacy wealth from mom, dad, or up the family line. Pluto can transform your subconscious, unconscious, self-sabotaging patterns and habits around money. You will feel this energy playing out this year through to next June 9th. And this is the first taste of it. The 30th, a Thursday, the 30th through to June the 6th. Take notes. What is going on here? The surprise conversation or the element of unexpected developments through phone calls and emails comes from the third house of text messages, phone calls and emails, social media, but also through siblings, especially younger. So some surprising news from a neighbor, a sibling, a cousin, an aunt, uncle, some surprising developments in your online world, surprising phone calls and text messages coming through your sky on the Thursday, the 30th through to Saturday, the 1st. Tell me what happens. I'd love to hear about it. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising Sign. Wow. I'm done. Is it martini hour? The Wine Lover's Middle Way at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, the 20th of May. I'm leaving for Portugal on Friday, and I'm in a crash countdown to get every video done for June. Finish up with clients. Schedule my stuff for Patreon. Eat, sleep, and exercise. Exercise is the one that's losing out during this whole thing. Holy man, guys, thank you for listening. Subscribe, like the channel, hit the notification bell, show me some love. I work really hard to make this a viable life course path for me. So if you guys like what I'm doing, please give me a like on the old click the button. I love that my friend and colleague Ellen Bus is like, press the like button, press the like button, hit the like button, just, hug the like button, smooch up the like button, do something with my like button, okay? Something PG rated. Thank you. Take care. Love you guys.